Ganach go Karen Mason ddiad I hain mar manager ball coshe, ac nhw dynach yn corym gygeraf glach gie, agus ynis to Amazon móra aice sonach lobbe.
It wasn't necessarily a choice of having to go for the job. I was kind of thrusted upon me, I would say. I've always been a part of the playing squad before then, and the manager that was in charge at the time had decided to step away. So our chairman at the time, who was my manager throughout my playing years, had asked me to then step in and take control and take charge. Because if it wasn't going to be me, then probably wouldn't have been a team. So I was more than happy to step in at the time. Injury had kind of prevented my playing career from going any further, so I always wanted to be involved, and that kind of got me involved, still a part of the team. So that's pretty much how I got into it, and I've not left since. So I think that was probably 2013, 14, I think it was now. Taking it on, it was, I would say, more of an amateur setup, as much as we're not professional, but I think things are done in a lot more professional manner now. Given that the structure of the leagues have changed, we're in the performance pathway, and that's where we want to kind of see ourselves in the future. We've got ambitions of wanting to play Premier League football, so that's never changed. We've always wanted to compete with the best, no matter what team we've been over the years, and we've always wanted to perform and play against the best of everybody. So that's just something that we're keen to do now, and with that performance pathway, the structure with Caley Thistle behind us as well, it does open up many more doors to us.
Ha hopper crwy ai Karen haar na bleinchen, a gilach go bhfuil chlubbe Innis an áte as láteris ar oeddiv.
The competition and the depth of the squad this year is much better than we've ever had. We've got a lot of kind of quality young players coming through, and that's kind of testament to our youth setup at Thistle Girls, and also with our new 17s team as well. So there's lots of positives coming through, and that allows us to have more numbers, which is not always something over the years that we've been having as our luxury. So having that 20 plus in the squad rather than scraping together 11 for a game has definitely been a massive difference over the years of coming through. I mean, we're kind of lucky in a sense that, you know, anyone within the Highlands, we've got players that come from Skye, from Stornoway to play for us, because we're obviously the closest maybe mainland team in that sense, and they want to compete at the best. So it's not a combat, it's more when they go to university that we tend to lose them, when they go down the Central Belt and everywhere, and it's maybe not as much a commitment for them with travel and everything. But we have been lucky that players have decided to stay with us, and you know, we've always got the bus on the way down to Perth or whatever, we can pick them up. So it's not been too much of a challenge keeping players, unless they kind of do go away and want to play at a higher level, which we've never had a problem with. It's always been a thing that if we want to be a stepping stone for that player to go and progress to play higher, then we're delighted to see that happening.
Hanna jew sgielach yn y lenten, leis yn sgipa ai Karen iddo hiad gemach y chluich id Boireannaich ai Parc Caledonia, agus a planich yn y nage is on tulli gemich yn chluich, and the hin as animich the days.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of how it came about, we had, during the COVID time, obviously a lot of facilities had shut down, so we weren't able to get our regular pitches at, say, the Inverness Academy or Milburn, because of schools, they weren't allowing anyone in. So at that time, when we thought the season was going ahead, I had approached the guys at Caley and just kind of said, this is a situation in, and they were keen to help us. So I'd said that, you know, if it was happening, then we could play the games at the stadium if it allowed with their season. So that kind of started the conversations, but then we got null and void, and then obviously the men's team continued as it were. So they were still keen to help and get us in and involved. So how it kind of came about was that we gave our fixture list to them, and they had theirs to compare it to. And more kind of, if we had a home game after their home game, then they would be happy to kind of have us in, just with the pitch maintenance and everything. So we had that first game just last week now, and we've got another one penciled in for March time. So that's exciting. And I mean, just the buzz about the team when we were there, getting into the dressing room, which was a rarity because of our season so far. It's been like changed on the bus, if anything. So getting in, seeing the strips up on the pegs, and just walking out to a stadium with crowds in, with music on, it just entirely lifted the whole squad. And I think the performance we put in was fitting for the day out that we all had, and we were all just delighted to be able to feel at home there, and for the club to be so welcoming.
Ha Karen a Cainachach Checho Moors ha game na ban an an ALBA dharachach van a hoshki cleich, agus, tuvas tai unia gamak gadich kuchach.
Yeah, massively. I mean, I stepped into like what was the Premier League at the time as a 14-year-old, and at the time there could have still been players at the sideline, you know, having their cigarettes or still hangover from the night before, and that just doesn't happen anymore. I mean, women take the game more seriously, and it's not just a case of, you know, having a kickabout with your mates on a Sunday. And obviously with the Scotland squad and everything doing really well as well, that kind of shows that how much our game has progressed. That, you know, we're competing now at European Championships, World Cups, etc. So I think it's all kind of turned on its edge, and it's such a short space of time that it is massive, the difference that's been made. As we say, there's still more that can be done and that can be changed, but I think we've got a lot of good people involved in the women's game that can help promote it and keep it going in the way it should be.
Ha Karen Gidach ag jesh mi ang adriach. Hij son Inverness Inverness leasachadh agus uit de Giano, Trona League and Kuchach.
Yeah, I would love to see us up in the Premier Leagues competing in that sense. I mean, that's what I've put all the years into, to make sure that we are always on the map in a sense. Quite often, you know, you see anything north of Perth and nobody pays attention. So it's always been important for me to make sure that there is a team in Inverness that's got a good reputation, that's got a good name for themselves, and we produce good footballers. So I think that's kind of the main aim. Obviously, SWPL2 would be in with our next 2-3 year plan, I would say, if not this year. But yeah, definitely aiming in the future to progress towards the SWPL1 as well.